ladies and any gentlemen I have in the audience joining me today. My name is Olivia Winfield, and I welcome you to today's edition of Push, Pull, and Press, where, as the name implies, we're going to be doing upper body workouts as well as some core. So with that being said, let's begin with some dynamic warm-ups, starting with our neck, working our way from the top to the bottom. Starting from the right with some neck rolls. All right, y'all. We are officially in the last week of May. Summer is around the corner. We have passed Memorial Day. It was just this past Monday, so that is unofficially the start of summer. Or at least I consider it the unofficial start of summer. If you are a kid who's still in school all the way till June, then yeah, you're not quite done yet. But the nice part is, though, is that you're at that end of the year point where you're pretty much not doing a whole lot. So, all right, let's come on down to the shoulder rolls. So we're at the end of May, going into the summer. How do we feel? We're going into what, Q3 of the year now? So how are we looking as far as our goals? How are we looking as far as achieving what we set out to achieve at the top of the year? How are we looking at sticking with our theme of the year? If you followed me at the beginning of the year, let's go into some side bends. I talked about your theme, your word for the year. You know, mine in the past has been strength, growth, discipline. I think mine this year, I have more phrases that are written on top of my calendar in my apartment, around no distractions, focus. So, how are we looking as far as that goes? Also, one thing I wanted to talk about as well. Now, this really occurred to me this weekend, and I really wanted to share it with you all. So I was thinking about the narratives that we tell ourselves, that inner voice. What does it tell us when we make a mistake, when we don't, do what we said we wanted to do, we don't achieve what we set out to achieve, we come up short, or if we're trying to push ourselves, trying to motivate ourselves to do something? What does that voice say? What does that voice sound like? Who do they sound like? Does it sound like you? What does it sound like your mom? Does it sound like your dad? Does that voice maybe sound a little too critical at times? Maybe not super helpful. Maybe that voice at times has been more about recrimination and punishment and rumination than necessarily focusing on what we could do better for next time or what have you. So that's what I want to talk about today, is just the narrative, the voice, what we tell ourselves, how do we talk to ourselves? Because honestly, it is a major component when it comes to fitness, when it comes to wellness, when it comes to, we're gonna do some chest openers here, when it comes to even your own consistency, when it comes to your own discipline. That self-talk is what's gonna help keep you engaged. That's what's gonna help you keep going. That's what's part of discipline. So I know for me, my journey as far as it goes with self-talk, we definitely needed some help, because the inner voice was not very kind. That's the other piece of it too. Is your voice kind to you? Are you kind to yourself? If you're anything like me, you might struggle with that a little bit. You might want to when you mess up, what's the first thing you want to do? You want to punish yourself. You want to yell at yourself. You're like, why do you do that? Instead of going, yeah, I'm human. I made a mistake. Let's move on. It takes a bit to transform that way of thinking. All right, we're going to come up and do some around the world. Start with your wrists turned out. I'm working with some light weights here to begin, and then I'm going to go up a little heavier. So these are 5s. I got some 8s, and I got some 12s here. So we got 3 sets. Let's go. 3, 4. So yeah, that inner voice. Is that a voice of encouragement, or is it a voice of punishment? Is it a voice of, yeah, you can do it? Or is it a voice of, see, you knew you couldn't do it. Why'd you even try that? See, now look at you. You look foolish. You look stupid. See, that kind of talk is not gonna help you. And I'll admit, there is comfort in that talk when that's what you're used to. it can feel really weird to try to speak to yourself positively when all you've ever done is talk to yourself negatively. I am not gonna lie to you. I had to have some professional help with that. I was fortunate enough to be connected with a life coach in one of my former job roles back in my corporate America days. And she helped me a lot in the 3 years that we worked together. But one of those, the first thing we did was undo that narrative, was work on that self-talk. All right, let's come into spider crawl. Tuck the knee into the elbow or up into your side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right. So, self-talk. The narrative that you tell yourself. So, I'm gonna grab my water bottle here real quick, because I forgot to bring it up with the TV. All right. So, if, for example, your self-talk can also sound like, you see her on the TV? You're never gonna be able to do that. Nah, never. Why would you even try that? And then you do try it, and you don't do it right on the first try, like a lot of things, and that voice is now saying, see, knew you couldn't do it. See, why'd you try that? Why'd you try that? You knew you couldn't do it. See, now look at you. You look stupid for even trying. You got to get rid of that voice, or you need to change what that voice is telling you. 1, 2, 3. I'm on the 8s now. I'm going up in moderate weight. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1 more, and 10. So if you want to really start making a difference within yourself, you are gonna have to change the self-talk. You are gonna have to change the things that you tell yourself. Because the thing is, what you tell yourself does become true. It is true. So you have to speak life into yourself. You have to speak that encouragement into yourself. Yes, you can receive it from other people, but that don't mean anything if you don't internalize it. And that is definitely something, again, I have struggled with in the past. It's really hard to really feel like you're doing something when you feel like a constant failure and everybody else around you says you're doing so well, and all you can focus on is the things that you are failing at. It can be really hard to take in your progress and to enjoy the moment. So that's why, again, you gotta change that narrative of how you talk to yourself. You gotta speak life to yourself. You gotta speak to yourself. You gotta say you can do it. You gotta speak to yourself, I am worth trying. I am worth putting in that effort. I'm worth making that attempt. Those are the words you have to speak to yourself, even if you don't believe it at first, because I certainly didn't. Fake it till you make it is a very real thing, y'all, because I sure did not believe those affirmations I was saying to myself in the mirror at first. I sure wasn't. Sitting there, I was cringing, going, I'm awesome, I'm amazing. Ew! Like, ick. But you really do have to tell yourself that. Because the thing is, before you know it, one day, you won't feel like you're faking it. One day, you will look at yourself in the mirror and you're gonna go, I'm awesome. And you're gonna believe that 110%. But make no mistake, it is a journey. It's a process, because here's the thing. That type of talk is conditioning. That type of talk is years. That is inbred. That has been in you for so long. And so it's gonna take some time to undo it. It's gonna take some time to rewire those connections. It is, because it took years to put those connections in place. So it's gonna take time to undo it. But it is so worth it. I don't even know if that was quite 10, but that's okay. But it is so worth it in the end. And trust and believe. If you tell yourself nothing, tell yourself this: I am worth the work. I am worth the effort. I am worth investing, pouring my own energy and time into. Yes, you may have other obligations. You may have other people that rely on you, but you rely on you, right? You're obligated to you in a way that nobody else is. So you owe it to yourself to put that time and dedication in, because nobody else is gonna do it for you. Plain and simple. And nobody else can speak that life into you the way that only you can. And it doesn't hurt to have other people in your corner. We all need people. No man is an island. That phrase is very true. And you cannot get there alone. Having help is incredibly important. It is not a sign of weakness if you need help. Again, something I had to learn. At times, the hard way, but I am continuing to do so. I won't say I'm done learning. I'm continuing to learn. It's an ever-evolving process. And that's the other part of it, too, is that you are gonna have good days, just as you're gonna have bad days. You're gonna have days where you're gonna wanna backslide, or not even wanna backslide. You're just gonna backslide. You're just gonna have days where, you know what, if you're finding it hard to remain positive and, a little negative thought just slipped in, that's okay. That's okay, too. That's called just being human. That's called being human. Because you don't stand to gain anything by ignoring your feelings. I'm not saying that. Acknowledge it. Feel your feelings, but don't let them control you. And that's on the power of emotional regulation. That's a whole different topic and conversation. All right, let's get into our pull over. So bring the weights up above your head here. You can do this with 2 or 1 dumbbells. I'm opting to do it with 2. Make sure you ground your shoulder blades into the mat or into the ground, into the bench. And then you're just gonna go back and up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, we'll end it right there for right now. All right, and then for our core, we're gonna come down to the mat and we're gonna do reverse crunches. All right, reverse crunches. So, crunch, usually bring your upper body up towards your knees. This time, you're bringing your knees to your upper body. If you want, you can even do a leg extension, which is typically how I do these. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, oh yeah, and 10. I like the little leg extension. Ha. So yes, positive self-talk is the name of the game. Because here's the thing too. It doesn't even have to even think that hard. It sounds like so much, but honestly, positive self-talk, you know what that sounds like? When we're doing these weights and you're telling yourself, all right, 1 more, you can do it. Push through. That's positive self-talk. That's it. It's just you telling yourself you can do it. And you will do it because you are capable. That's all positive self-talk is. It doesn't have to be some huge, drawn-out thing, because it's not. It's really not. It's just the little day-to-day narrative that you carry with you every day. It's those little thoughts that you say to yourself. It's the positive self-talk. Just, that's all it is. Because I have to say, it helped me so much, and so that's what I want for y'all. Get to a place out of recrimination, repudiation, and instead into celebration. You feel me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll go for 2 more. 11, 12. So yeah, next time you work out by yourself, instead of sitting there going, oh my God, one more. Instead, I want you to say to yourself, all right, we got 1 more to do. Let's do it. Let's make it good. Let's make it count. Like, that's the type of talk you should be having with yourself. That's the type of language you should be using. Because trust, if you sit there and tell yourself this is hard, you're tired, you don't want to do it, you're not going to do it. Okay, ask me how I know. All right, y'all, reverse crunches. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Whew. About to make them do this at the Dayton's project tonight. All right, guys, we got 1 more set of our pullovers, and we have 1 more chest focus exercise to do, and then we are DONE for the day. All right, y'all. So, if nothing else, if you take nothing else away from me in all these lessons, in all these classes, is that you are capable. You can, in fact, do it. And don't tell yourself that you can't, because you can. Because if you can do this, you can do anything. That's my mentality. And it served me well. So, all I'm saying is, like, listen, these are not easy workouts. I purposely don't make them easy, because I don't want them to be easy. But in turn, you know you will have done something by the time you're done with this. And so therefore, you can do 30 minutes of this, you can do anything. I believe in you. Therefore, you need to believe in yourself too, because it ain't enough for me to believe in you if you don't believe in you. Trust. Learned far too many times about trying to set myself on fire to keep somebody else warm. It don't work. Apply that same rule to yourself. Pour into you. Give yourself that positive self-talk, especially if you give it to other people, which is another problem that I had. It's like, I could see all the positives and everybody else, I could talk them up, but when it came to me, all I could ever see was every flaw that I had. All I could see was all the areas that I needed to be better, all the areas that I was deficient, lacking in. Like, people would tell me my positives, and I'm just like, okay, but what about this? Yeah, you have to stop doing that too. You do. That's to say that you need to swing completely in the other direction and think you're some flawless, perfect being, but it does you no good either to sit there and harp on your imperfections in the ways that you feel you don't measure up. it is highly unproductive. So that is why I say positive self-talk, positive narration for yourself, both in exercise and just in your general day-to-day. And you'll be amazed at how many other areas of your life you'll just stop being negative about. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 more, 11, and 12. Whew. All right, guys, we'll go ahead and take a little rest, and then we'll move into our final exercise. You all are doing fantastic. And that's the other thing you need to tell yourself, too. You're doing fantastic. You're doing great. You're doing awesome. And you are. Because you're here. And you're doing it. All right. Final exercise of the day. It's going to be a very simple pectoral fly. So, go ahead and grab your dumbbells. I'm going to stick with the 12s that I was using for our pullovers here. Now, whereas the pullover, was a pulling motion, so we were working more of our side muscles here, our lats, and working kind of that upper chest and involving more of that upper chest area. Pec fly is going to be involving more of the shoulder work coming in for that hug. So now we're kind of working the side pec and not the top pec. All right. Coming in for a hug. I could use one of those. Maybe. Pretty sure someone came in right now and tried to offer me a hug. I'd be like, so, it's situational. All right, pec fly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right. And then for our final core exercise, you can either stay on the bench, honestly. We're gonna just do a little toe touch. This one's from Pilates. So ground your hip bones, your shoulder blades into the mat, and just reach for your toes. That's it. Belly button to spine, of course. Keep that core engaged. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right. We will take a rest. Make sure you have a sip of water. And then we will do this again. But yeah, for my own personal journey, changing the way that I talked to myself definitely led to some significant improvements within my life. Because here's the other thing too. If you speak to yourself with kindness, you're not gonna accept when other people speak to you in unkindness. Let me repeat that. When you speak to yourself with kindness, you will begin to understand the way that people have spoken to you unkindly. And hopefully, in turn, you will find it within yourself now to be able to say, I don't like the way you talk to me. I don't like the way you said that. Because you don't talk to yourself like that. And therefore, those around you that claim to love and care about you shouldn't talk to you like that either. So, I say to say, positive self-talk will change your life for the positive, for the good. It may not seem like that at first, especially when it starts to impact your relationships, but then you also begin to realize, Those probably weren't relationships you needed to keep around in the first place. I said it. So, positive self-talk works wonders. All right. Begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 2 more. 11 and 12. All right. Toe touch. Or it's kind of like a lion pike stretch almost. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Woo! All right. 3.5 minutes to go. We got one more set, plus our cool down, and then we are done, y'all. So to add on what I was saying before, you treat yourself with kindness. Speak to yourself with kindness. It's gonna make you a lot less intolerant, it's making you a lot less tolerant for those that gonna try to talk to you crazy and try to treat you any old type of way. That's when you gotta come back to center. That's when you gotta come back to yourself and remind yourself, hold up, wait a minute now. I don't talk to me like that. I don't treat me like that. Nobody that loves and cares for me talks to me and treats me like that. So why are you talking to me and treating me like that? Exactly. Positive self-talk. Now, that doesn't mean it's gonna make it easy to make those hard decisions. 1, 'cause it won't. 2, 3, but it does make it easier to make those hard decisions. 4, 5. Oh wait, we're doing 6. Forgot. 7, 8. Y'all was really gonna let me do that too. 9. Wow. 10. 11. 12. All right. Last set of our lion toe touch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right. Great job, y'all. 1.5 minutes left. Let's go ahead and start up our cool down. Okay, so after all of the positive motivation and life coaching, now here comes the part where I plug the YMCA. So let's start with our next stretch here. So, in case y'all didn't know, the Virtual Y now has its own standalone app. Yes, its own separate Virtual Y app that you can find. I think right now it's only available in the Apple App Store. I'm not 100% sure yet if it's available on Google Play yet. But yes, the Virtual Y. So now you can take us anywhere with you on the go. If you are an existing YMCA of the North member, then of course your membership is free. If you happen to be watching us on YouTube or Vimeo right now, hey. So if you want to see our other program content that we have to offer, including my lower body exercise program, Butts, Guts, and Body, that is only available exclusively on our Virtual Y app. So you're gonna have to download that. It's only $9.99 a month though, and you get access to so many amazing videos from a wide variety of instructors. We got everything from strength, obviously, to even exercises catered towards our 55 plus senior population. So we got a little bit of something for everybody. In any case, we are officially at time now, so I'll let y'all go and enjoy the rest of your day. But to remind you, my name is Olivia Winfield. I'm a virtual Y instructor as well as a personal trainer here at our lovely Douglas Dayton YMCA in downtown Minneapolis, and this was Push Pull Press. I'll see you all next Tuesday.
I'm Sarah, and this is Cardio Dance. Are you guys ready to work out? Let's do it.
Through the bag. Go. That's where we want to go.
Last 10 seconds. I'm right here with you. Let's do it.
Welcome to the Y. My name is Erin. I'm Jennifer.
My name is Linda.
My name is Tommy, and today we're going to do a quick step routine.
We feeling like we can conquer the world today?
I wish you all could smell it. It smells so good.
Time. We get stronger in my world. We're going to do it again.
We'll see you again. Keep working hard. You did awesome.